craziest bastards I've ever met in my life. I love everyone.
What's going on, you crazy bastards? You're back here with Rob Kimball from sonsofwrestling.com for a WWE Raw review this October 20th, 2014. And it did start off a little slow, but finished with a bang. And there was some good shit here. Right before Hell in a Cell, the go-home show, we have the Authority opening up Raw. And, well, Triple H changes a little bit of what's going on here. The winner of Randy Orton versus John Cena gets a title shot against Brock Lesnar. Now, this was nice. I liked that delivery, something different, and it ended up being Seth Rollins that mentioned this to Triple H to make it happen. And well, Randy Orton says that he won't let Triple H down. He's thankful, and he plans on getting to Brock Lesnar and beating him to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion once again. And that's all good and fucking fine, but when are they going to face Brock Lesnar, whoever wins? Is it going to be TLC or whatever before the new year? Because there's been rumblings and such, and if you heard me talk about it on the rumor mill, but I believe that Lesnar will be on, like I said, and way before 2015. So it looks like that's the setup. Hopefully it's not the setup for John Cena to tie Ric Flair and go beyond. Hopefully it's Randy Orton to go in, as you see my video earlier. Hopefully that's the way it goes. Something different, change it up, and it going into the new year and the build to WrestleMania. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Comment down here. Who do you want to see win this match and go on to face the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar? Down there. Anyway, we move on to the Sheamus and Usos versus the Dust Brothers, and the Miz then became Mizdow because Miz says that he deserves a chance to prove himself tonight, and he deserves that. So Mizdow gets the spot in the same match we've had about 15 times, it feels like, with the ending being different here. You have Sheamus goes ahead and he ends up hitting the fucking bro kick, and then Mizdow roll up victory here. Hell yes, awesome. Mizdow with a victory, and on commentary they were saying that Mizdow's taking all the steam, and he's the one that people are fucking rooting for. And yes, I am too, because Mizdow, Damien Sandow that is a great talent in the WWE, and he's going to fucking catapult once he finally gets out of this, but he's doing the best that he can with what he's got, and that's all you can do. He's still on TV, so that's a good thing. And then we have Randy Orton and Triple H backstage, and again, Randy Orton plans to make him proud, and well, Triple H says, you know what, this was Seth Rollins' idea. And it was like, what? Like, why? Because the two have been at it, at each other. And, well, like I said, he seems shocked, and he plans to go find Seth Rollins to thank him personally. And you can tell that he has a little edge to this sincerity. So, we'll see what happens down the road. Next up, AJ Lee versus Alicia Fox with Paige ringside, and it's the usual same old match, and but the little switcheroo here, Alicia Fox outside the ring, and Paige comes over, they starts fucking beating on each other, and Paige throws her back into the ring, and we do get a victory from Alicia Fox to AJ Lee. So it must have been motivation enough, the little ass kicking that she got from Paige outside of the ring, and they're still besties. They're hugging and then falling down on each other, and good for them. AJ Lee stands in the ring, just smiles, whatever it is, what it is. No title change, so it doesn't matter. And then we have Randy Orton and Seth Rollins backstage, and it looks as if Rollins believes Orton will end up beating Cena and going on to beat Brock Lesnar, because his master plan, which he's always saying he's the smart one, and this does make sense because there's no fucking way in hell Seth Rollins could beat Brock Lesnar, this sets up Randy Orton to go ahead and beat the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar, which he thinks he does, and he says the future will settle itself. Then he holds up that Money in the Bank case, and that makes total sense. So where do we go from here? Is that the setup? Is that the story arc? Is that where we're headed? Hey, it's something different, and it's A-okay with me. Comment down here if you would like to see down the road Randy Orton, yes, becoming champ again, but just a quick champ, and Seth Rollins cashing in moments later after that victory because Brock Lesnar's going to destroy him, and it would be some kind of fluke that he picks up the win, and we would have a new champion, Seth Rollins, just in time for Roman Reigns to come back, or Dean Ambrose just go back and destroy him one more time after the Hell in a Cell. Who knows? We'll see what happens, and I can't wait for that. Something new. The plate is fresh. Yes. Can't go wrong there. And, well, this leads to Randy Orton coming out, cutting a promo. It starts off slow, his usual promo, and he actually caught this, and he fires himself up and gets the crowd really into it. So Randy Orton does have that talent to actually recognize what's going on around, and he actually turned it up, lit it on fire, fucking told John Cena he could take his hustle, loyalty, and respect and shove it right up his ass. Cena's music hits, Cena comes down, and Cena obviously the better of the two in promos, and he does kind of bring it down, but in the end here, you see what happens. But out of this, they were talking about 2002, and all these years later, 2014, how many times that they fucking had matches, main events, this and that, but he says Cena's still stuck in his little thing where Randy Orton's about to destroy him. Paul Heyman's music hits, he comes down to the ring, and he says, in 2002, Brock Lesnar was the World Heavyweight Champion, and in 2014, he still is. So you two, your whole careers, he's been champ pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And so either one, Brock Lesnar can destroy. Well, John Cena looks a little perturbed about this. Racks up fucking Paul Heyman, ready to hit an AA. But he calms down, sets him down, and, well, Randy Orton's got other plans. He didn't like to be called a dumbass and a fucking idiot and stupid, and he hits an RKO to John Cena, dropping him flat, down, out. And Paul Heyman thinks this is hilarious. But Paul Heyman got another thing coming. Boom! RKO out of nowhere. Fucking down. And this is going to infuriate the Beast incarnate to bring him back to television hopefully soon. And this was well played, WWE, because the show was falling flat, and it finally picked up here, and as I seen on my Twitter feed, it finally got pretty active. It did start off pretty fucking slow, let me tell you. Then man, that was a good thing. And Randy Orton says, now who's the dumbass, as everybody's laid flat in the ring. And he got heat by picking on the Royals. One too many 2 times. It was a little cheap there, very cheap at the end, actually. But hey, he did way better than he has in the past. So, because when he recognized that the crowd was not behind anything he was fucking saying, he lit it up. So, good for him. Guys picked up something. Then we have Rusev versus Big E in a no fucking reason match. And obviously, Accolade Big E loses. Then the Russian flag is about to drop. Oh no, nothing comes down. Big Show's on the Tron, laughing, and the United States flag drops. And Rusev says, fuck this, goes to tear it down. A United States soldier comes into the ring. It took him about 3 minutes to finally roll in. He was stuck on the apron. I don't know. I guess this guy never really wore camo and fatigue. I don't know what happened, but when he finally got in, Rusev dropped the big foot, knocking him down, busted him up pretty good. And but if this was a true scenario, anybody that jumps that ring, this what happens. Now, if this was storytelling, you put a guy in a soldier uniform, yes, it makes sense. He wants to defend that flag, but the point is that was a low. A very big low if he was not a real U.S. soldier. So, back and forth. Anyway, Big Show's pissed off, comes down the ring, helps the soldier out, and he wants Rusev. He goes looking for Rusev, can't find him, finds his fucking dressing room, kicks the door in, no Rusev. and he just stands there pissed. And so it's just building up their match at Hell in a Cell. Maybe Rusev will finally lose. Comment down here and let me know. Do you think it'll happen finally? And is it a curse to have a streak? I think it is, personally. Then, Dean Ambrose backstage watching. See no evil to it, popcorn. Cena comes in, fucking he jumps, he's startled. He's like, I'm fucking doing research on Kane. This guy is crazy. Funny shit. And then he talks about, John Cena's like, what are you doing? This is what you do? We need to get ready for this match. What is your plan? And he talks about superheroes. He wore a cape once. And then brought up Batman. And then obviously the Joker statement from John Cena. Because yes, that was the most fitting when Dean Ambrose first came into the WWE. But what I see most fitting is Bruce Willis from Die Hard. Simple as that. That is the character that he portrays. Then, he asks him what the game plan is. He just starts swinging at anything that there is and bring down as many as you can if you go down. So, hey, Cena's behind him. So, there we go. Brie Bella versus Summer Rae. And anyway, Brie picks up the victory here with a middle rope drop kick. And, you know, it is what it is. Pissing off Nikki Bella backstage watching on the screen. And, hey, whatever, here we go. The woman to lose at Hell in a Cell will be the other person's personal bitch. That's that. That's what they said. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. So, who knows? I think, personally, Nikki's going to win, making Brie the bitch, and maybe trying to bring her back into that lifestyle, dropping Daniel Bryan. Who knows? Hey, new ideas. God, that was right on the fly. Fuck it. Something new. And, we have Dean Ambrose coming down to the ring with a couple bags, a big giant bag. It has a dummy in it. Looks like Seth Rollins. And he's cutting a promo on a dummy like it was really Seth Rollins. And he tears it apart, rips the fucking arms off, stabs it with a fucking screwdriver. Seth Rollins comes out. And what really made this was Mick Foley coming out. And he said that when the Shield came together, it was the most dominant faction in a very long time, and he always thought Seth Rollins would be that guy, but in a cell, that's totally different. Dean Ambrose is the guy, backs him up, they pick on his Santa shirts, and, well, Seth Rollins did. Seth Rollins just put down everybody, playing the heel like he is, doing a really good job, and, but in the end here, it was just putting over the Hell in a Cell with the great things that Mick Foley had done, and sacrificed himself to, holy shit, if you never watched any of those, you must watch Mick Foley versus The Undertaker. Seriously, you'll sit back and be like, what are we watching these days? That was just sick, but that was a totally different time, and Mick Foley was a totally different guy. And he's actually from about an hour from where I live, right down this fucking road. If I go south 45 minutes, that's where he's from. That's pretty cool. Goddamn beast. Then we have Cesaro versus Ziggler. And this was just a taste of what we're going to get at Hell in a Cell. You know it's coming. We're going to have that match. Cesaro versus Dolph Ziggler for the IC title. And here, just a small portion of what we're going to get was a great match. Awesome stuff. And Cesaro rocking this monster European uppercut. Taking out Ziggler 1, 2, 3 with it, which is surprising. Everyone kicks from it, but Ziggler sold it awesome. And then, well, Cesaro wasn't done with that. He didn't have enough. Hits the neutralizer to capitalize what he's going to do if he gets that IC title match. So hopefully that happens, and I think that it will. Then we have Randy Orton and Seth Rollins and Kane backstage bickering and bitching. Triple H cuts it down. He says, fucking Kane, you guys can't get under control. Kane's the general here. He's running the show. He's calling the shots. And then we go on to the main event for John Cena, Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, and Kane in a 3-on-1 handicap street fight. Starts off chaotic, of course, and then finally it leads into a little tag action here, and Ambrose takes out everyone outside of the ring, jumping off the announcer's booth, including Cena. Have you noticed that? He's done this a few times now. He doesn't care. So down the road, I think maybe you will have that Dean Ambrose, John Cena feud set up, because this is the early stages. They're building that arc, and that's the way you do storytelling right there. You plant that seed, and it's always in the back of your mind, and then down the road you can pull it back, and here's the reason why. So hopefully that's what happens, and it'll be with Dean Ambrose as the champion. So that's just something that I think is going to happen down the road. And well, in the end here, Authority takes over. Kane demands to sell the drop. Dean Ambrose slips in because he was outside of the ring after his beatdown that he took, and John Cena's just getting pummeled here. And like I said, bodies everywhere. Then finally, Dean Ambrose, he's got a little offense going on. He goes for the fucking slingshot, for the clothesline, the slingshot clothesline, and this becomes an RKO from Randy Orton out of nowhere, and he picks up the win with this 1, 2, 3. And when he didn't think that he's seen enough tonight, more shockers. Fucking curb stomp from Seth Rollins to Randy Orton in the middle of the ring, standing tall. Seth Rollins climbs the top of the steel cage cell, standing victorious in his own mind, happy and laughing about what he's done. So he's turned his back on Randy Orton. So where does he stand within the Authority? Where does this go from here at Hell in a Cell? Lots of things that they set up here, and this really made this show pretty damn decent because they're really setting up their storylines to go 3-4 months down the road. Where do these feuds end up going? So my book, you know, I don't know, I can't even give it a grading point, whatever. It was decent enough with really good highs, but then really bad lows. So it was half and half there. But in the end, I enjoyed the show. What do you guys think? Comment down here. Go to sonsofwrestling.com. Get yourself some cool ass t-shirts, some hoodies, all that good shit. Support pro wrestling, all of that. And get the WWE Network to get this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view for only $9.99. Seriously, if you think that's a bad deal, yeah, it's not. It's awesome. Fucking 30 years ago, pay-per-views were $19.99, so come on. Log on, click in there, subscribe to my show. If you don't want to subscribe to WWE, hit the thumbs up, it helps me out, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for WWE Main Event. Peace.